All right, so you live in Layton, you've got a dog, and now you're looking for a trainer. Where do you even begin? It can feel like a huge task, right? Well, don't worry. We're going to walk through everything you need to know, step by step, so you can feel really good about the choice you make for your furry family member.
Yeah, that's the dream, isn't it? Just a nice, calm walk. No pulling, no lunging, just enjoying the beautiful scenery here in Layton with your best buddy. The good news is that's totally achievable. We're going to give you the clear, practical steps to find a local pro who can help you get there. Okay, so let's get into it. First up, let's talk about why training is so helpful for just living your life here in Layton with your dog.
You know, a good trainer isn't just about teaching sit or stay. I mean, that's important, but it's so much more than that. They help get your dog ready for the real world, our real world here in Davis County. Think about it. A crowded day at Layton Commons Park, hiking Adams Canyon with other people and dogs around, or even just helping your dog stay relaxed during one of those big Wasatch Front thunderstorms. That's what practical training is all about. So, with all the options out there, how do you tell who's actually good? Well, it really boils down to two main things we're going to look at: the methods they use and the credentials they have. Okay, let's talk about methods. The gold standard in modern dog training is something called positive reinforcement. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. You reward the behavior you want to see. This could be with treats, praise, or a favorite toy. It's humane, it's backed by science, and honestly, it just builds a way better, more trusting relationship with your dog. We're moving away from the old school fear-based stuff that we now know can actually create more problems. And speaking of professionals, another huge thing to look for is some kind of certification. Think about it. Anyone can say they're a dog trainer, but a certification, that means they've actually put in the time and money to get educated, and they're held to a professional standard. You might see a jumble of letters after a trainer's name, like CPDTKA or KPACTP. Now, you don't have to memorize what all of these mean. Just know that seeing them is a really good sign. It means that person has passed some pretty tough exams on things like learning theory, animal behavior, the real science behind it all. It shows they're serious about what they do. All right, let's switch gears and talk about the practical stuff. What kinds of programs are out there and, of course, what they typically cost right here in the Layton area. For the most part, you're looking at two main flavors: group classes and private lessons. Group classes, they're awesome for getting your dog used to being around other dogs and people, and they're usually easier on the wallet. Private lessons, though, give you that one-on-one focus for tackling specific problems, like maybe your dog goes bonkers when the doorbell rings. There's no single right answer. It's all about what fits your dog and what you're trying to achieve. And here's a look at what you can generally expect to pay in our area. As you can see, a 6-week group class might run you a couple $100, while private lessons are priced by the hour. Then you have bigger packages for in-home training or even board and train options, which are more of an investment. Just a tip, a lot of times buying a package of sessions will give you a better deal in the long run. Okay, so once you've started training, you've got to take it out into the real world, right? So let's cover some of the local rules you need to know, and then we'll talk about some great spots around town to practice everything you're learning. All right, if there's one number you need to remember in Layton, it's this one: 6, as in 6 feet. That's the maximum length for your dog's leash in all city parks, on the trails, and on the sidewalks. It's a straightforward rule, and it's the law here, unless you're in a spot that's specifically marked as off-leash. Besides the leash law, there are just a couple of other basic things to keep in mind. The state of Utah requires a rabies vaccine, and you've got to have that tag on your dog's collar. Also, and this is just being a good neighbor, excessive barking can lead to a noise complaint. The thing is, a well-trained dog makes following all these rules pretty much a breeze. So where can you go to put all this great training to the test? Because practicing at home is one thing, but you need to see how your dog does with real-world distractions. And we've got some fantastic spots right here. The dog park at Layton Commons is perfect for working on that come when called command. You can practice polite leash walking up at the Adams Canyon trailhead. And hey, if you really want to test their focus, take a trip out to Antelope Island. Plenty of wildlife distractions there. When you use these places, training stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like an adventure. Okay, we've covered methods, credentials, programs, and costs. Now we get to what is probably the most powerful part of this whole process: the actual conversation you have with a potential trainer. So what should you be asking? Going into that conversation with a few key questions ready makes all the difference. It lets you guide the discussion and helps you walk away feeling confident that you've made a really smart choice. These first few questions are the big ones. They get right to the heart of things.
You're asking about their core philosophy. Do they use positive reinforcement? You're asking about their qualifications. And you're asking how they're going to tailor the training specifically for your dog and your goals. You want clear answers here. This is what a good partnership is built on.
And then you've got the nitty-gritty practical questions. How are we going to track progress? Can I get everything in writing? Costs, policies, the whole deal? Will you work with my vet if we need to? And maybe one of the most important ones, what do I need to be doing at home? Getting all this clear from the start means no surprises down the road.
And that quote says it all, doesn't it? A little bit of homework now to find the right person makes a huge, huge difference for you and your dog's happiness long term.
Because at the end of the day, having a well-trained dog just makes everything about living here in Layton that much better. So good luck with your search. We really hope this helps you on your way to building an amazing life with your dog, whether that's just chilling at home, saying hi to neighbors on your daily walk, or getting out and exploring all the beautiful trails we have right here in our backyard.